My name's Don Bridges, and I'm the owner and creator of Haeckels made of Margate. Haeckels is a 100% natural seaweed, skincare and wild fragrance company. I was working in China, everyone was smoking and seaweed was just in bowls all around the room. And I was determined not to smoke, so I just kept eating all this dry seaweed all the time. And it was a real lifesaver. And then I get back home to Margate and everyone's outside the pub in the harbour where the seaweed backs up sometimes. And everyone's moaning about the smell of seaweed. It annoyed me that people were kind of being down on the seaweed. Part of that is still like, well, you know, you hate that thing and that thing's okay, you know? It's like, don't be down on it. And for some strange reason, I went down to the beach, I picked up a load of seaweed, I read a couple of books, watched a couple of YouTube clips, and I made about 15 bars for everyone for Christmas. And then when I went around the houses, no one was using it, and they were just like putting it on their wash basins. And I was like, well, why aren't you using it? And they were like, well, it's so beautiful and it comes from here that I just wanted it on display. And in that moment, it was like, well, hold on a minute, a couple of months ago, you hated this stuff and now you're kind of coveting it, you know. And the more I looked into it, the more I realised it was something to be celebrated and it's something to be like showcased. And I think that like the best way to kind of represent any coastal town, whether it be Margate or wherever, is to really make a noise about what's great about the English coast. With that in my head, finding that source of seaweed is just like incredible. Margate being a small town, you know, people kind of thought Cliftonville was a bit kind of scary, or I didn't want to go there, and over a period of time, you know, everyone beat up on it. But I never sort of thought of it that way, you know. I like life on my front doorstep. Cliftonville's like a kind of melting pot of anyone and everyone, you know. It's been really interesting having the shop and like people coming in and like, well, why the hell have you opened it here, you know? And I just love that question. Because you've got a beach down there that's got, you know, 4 types of seaweed growing on it that don't grow anywhere else in the world. You've got this amazing Jurassic chalk reef that might be under a shopping trolley, but it's still there, you know. You've just all forgotten about it. I think in my head, the shop had to be where it is to prove a point that it doesn't matter where you are in the universe, as long as what you're doing is good. You can do that anywhere. You can do it in a bit of town that everyone has kind of given up on. But at the same time saying, fuck you lot, we're going to do it right here. I'm going to make a point of the fact that, yeah, this is home. So much of the perfume industry is based on the kind of fantasy realm, and I kind of wanted to do something different than that. Something that kind of had the same philosophy as taking the seaweed and making a bar of soap. So the fact that our perfumes don't have names, only GPS codes, invites the person who's fallen in love with it to go and visit that place. And those codes will take you to other beaches and other unusual places that you might not necessarily think have any kind of, you know, aromatic merit. And they're within a, 8-mile radius of the shop. It's just all about exploring and having a look around and like a connection with a place. You haven't just fallen in love with something which is ethereal, you know, this is real. I think that as an idea to install in someone's head is quite special, that you might not initially see the beauty, but you've already fallen in love with its aromatic beauty. That's a bit like never judge a book by its cover, you know. The scents are about representing, the entire neighbourhood. So then it made sense to kind of move further inland as well. Blean Woods is absolutely beautiful. It's a real kind of family area, but at the same time, even though it has kind of designated paths, it still feels like you could get lost in there, and areas of it feel really quite private. I think Haeckels started as a celebration of Margate. That's what it's, about, showcasing what's on offer in terms of the natural environment. But I think, as it grows, I think it's about actually celebrating the whole English coast. There is real beauty there, and there's so many incredible things that we just kind of take for granted. Ultimately what I'm saying is that let's just have some new ideas about our coastline, Let's just do something different, please. And people will come, and people do want that. I think Haeckels is like kind of a big thank you somehow for like letting me take up residence here and letting us raise our daughter here and giving us a completely better lifestyle, you know.